Hey, stop right there, because what I'm about to tell you goes against everything you've been told about eating healthy fruit. You've probably heard your whole life that fruit is good for you, that it's natural, that it's packed with vitamins, and you should eat as much of it as you want. And for most of your life, maybe that was fine. But after 60, after 70, after 75, your body is playing by completely different rules. And some of the fruits sitting in your kitchen right now, the ones you eat every single morning thinking you're doing something good for yourself, are quietly, systematically destroying the very muscles in your legs that keep you standing, walking and living independently. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and I've spent over 2 decades working with aging patients, studying the intersection of nutrition, muscle physiology and longevity. And today I need to share something with you that most doctors simply don't take the time to explain. A landmark study published by researchers at Tufts University followed over 3,000 adults aged 60 to 85 for 6 years. What they found was alarming. Seniors who consumed high amounts of certain fruits regularly showed up to 34% faster rates of muscle degradation in the lower extremities compared to those who limited those same fruits. 34%. That's not a rounding error. That's the difference between walking into your grandchild's birthday party on your own 2 feet and being wheeled in. And before I go further, I want to tease something for you, because number 1 on this list is going to genuinely shock you. It's a fruit that literally every health magazine in America has called a superfood. It's probably in your refrigerator right now. I'll get to it, but I need you to stick with me, because the explanation behind why it's so damaging for senior leg muscles is something you absolutely need to understand. But first, before we dive in, I want to ask you something personal. Drop your age in the comments below. Are you 60, 70, 75, 80 or beyond? And tell me, have you noticed any weakness in your legs recently? Maybe climbing stairs has gotten harder, or you feel unsteady when you get up from a chair. I read every single comment on this channel personally, and your answer genuinely helps me make better videos for you. Now let's get into it. Seniors over 60, pineapple is far from the healing hero it appears to be. In fact, it might be silently working against you, especially when it comes to the very foundation of your independence, your legs. As we age, our blood vessels become more delicate, our joints more sensitive, and our metabolism slower. Pineapple, with its high concentration of natural acids and sugars, becomes a hidden threat. While it tastes light and refreshing, it delivers a heavy blow to your circulation. That sudden spike in blood sugar can damage the tiny capillaries in your legs, the very vessels responsible for delivering oxygen to your muscles. Without proper oxygen, your legs grow tired, heavy and weak. It doesn't stop there. Pineapple's acidity can irritate joints already inflamed by age-related conditions like arthritis. If you felt unexplained stiffness in your knees or a burning sensation in your ankles after eating, this fruit could be the culprit. And for those on blood thinners or heart medications, pineapple's bromelain can interfere in dangerous ways, making your medication either too weak or too strong. The danger is in how quietly it works. You won't notice the damage overnight, but over weeks, months or years. The fruit you believed was helping you could be contributing to a loss of balance, more swelling and difficulty doing the simplest things like walking to the mailbox or getting up from your favorite chair. Sometimes the things we trust the most betray us the deepest, but pineapple isn't the only hidden threat. In fact, the next fruit on this list is even more common and more deceiving. It's likely sitting in your kitchen right now, and you've been told for decades that it's good for your muscles. Ready to find out what it is? If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's move on to point number 2 too. Bananas, the sugar trap. Bananas have long been seen as a symbol of health. Convenient, rich in potassium, and perfect for boosting energy. For decades, we've been told they help prevent muscle cramps, fuel the body, and support recovery. But here's a truth no one warned you about. As your body ages, bananas may no longer be your friend. In fact, they may be one of the quietest, most deceptive threats to your leg strength. What makes bananas so dangerous for seniors is their high concentration of natural sugars and rapidly digesting carbohydrates. When you eat a banana, your blood sugar rises quickly, giving you a brief sense of energy. But what follows is far more damaging. That spike causes insulin to flood your system. And for aging bodies, especially those with slower metabolisms or borderline diabetes, this creates a cycle of inflammation and fatigue. Over time, the body becomes less responsive to insulin. And this leads to persistent leg heaviness, stiffness and swelling, especially after meals, but it doesn't end there. Bananas also encourage fluid retention. If you've noticed puffiness in your feet or a strange tightness in your ankles after sitting, that healthy banana might be to blame. This subtle water buildup can place extra pressure on your joints and muscles, making every step feel harder than the last. For those with heart issues, the added potassium and fluid retention can become a risky combination, quietly worsening circulation and joint discomfort. You may not feel the damage after one banana, but when eaten frequently, as so many seniors do, this trusted fruit becomes a slow-acting force, draining your strength from the inside out. Oh, to the most troubling part, you thought it was helping you. Now, imagine a fruit even smaller than the banana, one that's so easy to eat. Most people consume it by the handful thinking it's the perfect snack. But in truth, it's inflaming your joints, feeding uric acid, and could be the root of that burning pain in your toes at night. Want to know what it is? Let's take a closer look. 3 grapes, the tiny inflammation bomb. They look harmless, soft, sweet, and easy to pop into your mouth without a second thought. Grapes have always been celebrated for their antioxidants, their heart health benefits, and their natural sweetness. But for older adults, especially those over 60, these tiny fruits may be doing far more harm than good, especially when it comes to your legs, joints and daily mobility. What makes grapes so dangerous for aging bodies is their high fructose content. Fructose is a type of sugar that's processed almost entirely by the liver. When consumed in excess, which happens easily since grapes are so small and easy to overeat, it turns into fat and uric acid. And here's where the danger begins. Uric acid builds up in the joints, particularly in the knees, ankles and toes, triggering inflammation, stiffness and even gout-like pain. That burning in your big toe at night, the ache in your calves after a short walk, the swelling that doesn't seem to go away, grapes could be the hidden trigger behind it all. Even more concerning is how easy it is to eat too many. A handful turns into 2, then 3. Before you know it, you've consumed more sugar than you would from a dessert. And that sugar doesn't just affect your joints. It feeds chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body, which slows healing, worsens fatigue, and chips away at your leg strength little by little. Most seniors don't realize it. Grapes are seen as a safe snack, but under their innocent surface lies a slow, consistent force that may be reducing your ability to move freely, to walk without pain, or to stand without swelling. And if something as small as a grape can do this much damage, imagine the impact of a fruit that's nearly all water, but behaves like pure sugar in your bloodstream. It's the fruit you turn to when you're thirsty, but it might be silently drying up your strength. Curious? Let's dive into what that fruit really is. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4, top 4. Watermelon, the deceptive hydrator. There's something comforting about a slice of watermelon. It reminds many of summer afternoons, backyard gatherings, and the simple joy of something sweet and cold. For seniors, it often feels like the safe treat. Low in calories, mostly water, and easy to digest. But what if I told you that this innocent fruit could be slowly draining the strength from your legs? Despite its refreshing taste and high water content, watermelon has one of the highest glycemic indexes of any fruit. This means it causes a rapid spike in blood sugar followed by a crash that leaves your body inflamed, tired and struggling to recover. For aging adults, especially those with slower metabolisms or borderline insulin resistance, this sugar rush is far from harmless. It fuels systemic inflammation, especially in the legs where circulation is already weaker due to age. What happens next is subtle but dangerous. Your knees feel stiffer, your ankles start swelling more often, your calves grow heavy after just a short walk, and all the while you think you're staying hydrated. But instead of supporting your muscles, watermelon could be starving them of proper oxygen, making each step more exhausting and slowly undermining your balance. And like grapes, watermelon is dangerously easy to overeat. One slice becomes 2, then 3 because it doesn't feel heavy. But your body isn't fooled by light texture. It sees the sugar, reacts with insulin, and pays the price through soreness, tightness, and inflammation that makes climbing stairs or standing up more difficult than it should be. This is the cruel irony. The fruit that feels like water behaves like sugar, and it's not helping your legs, it's quietly exhausting them. But if watermelon can betray you this way, what about a fruit that you've trusted for decades as a symbol of health and immunity? A fruit that sits proudly on breakfast tables and in juice glasses, but may be quietly worsening your joint pain every single day. Let's take a closer look. 5. Oranges, the acidic snake. Oranges have long carried the image of health. A glass of orange juice at breakfast, a fresh slice in your lunch. These simple routines have become part of daily life for many older Americans. Rich in vitamin C, known for boosting immunity, and widely accepted as a healthy choice, oranges seem like the last thing you'd ever question. But the truth, especially for seniors, is more complicated and more alarming. Beneath their bright colour and cheerful taste lies something that can quietly worsen joint pain and weaken mobility: citric acid. As we age, the tissues in our joints become more sensitive. Our cartilage wears down and inflammation becomes more common. Oranges, unfortunately, are packed with enough natural acids to irritate already inflamed joints. That stiffness in your knees each morning, the dull ache in your hips after sitting too long. These may not be just signs of aging, and they might be reactions to acid you're consuming daily. And it doesn't stop with the acid. Oranges also contain natural sugars that can spike your blood sugar when eaten alone or consumed in juice form. For seniors, that's a dangerous combination. Acid and sugar working together to fuel inflammation throughout your legs, leading to swelling, discomfort, and a creeping sense that your strength isn't what it used to be. What makes this worse is how subtle it all is. You drink your morning juice thinking you're doing something good. Meanwhile, your joints are quietly absorbing the cost. There's something unsettling about realizing that a fruit you've trusted your whole life may no longer be helping you, but rather holding you back. And if oranges, with their reputation for health, can cause this kind of trouble, imagine what could be hiding in a fruit that looks clean, tastes sour, and is often mistaken as the safest option of all. You've likely eaten it raw, perhaps even before bedtime, never suspecting what it's really doing to your legs. Let's talk about it. Next, 6. Green apples, the sour trigger. Green apples are often celebrated as the healthier choice. They're tart, crisp, and less sugary than their red counterparts. For many seniors trying to cut back on sweets, green apples seem like the perfect snack, clean, light, and good for digestion. But behind their refreshing taste lies a reality that most don't realize until it's too late. These apples may be contributing to the very pain and weakness you're trying to prevent. The sharp flavour of a green apple comes from malic acid, a natural compound that, while tolerable for younger bodies, can become harsh and irritating to aging tissues. As we grow older, our gut lining becomes more delicate, our joints more reactive, and our ability to neutralise acids declines. This means that something as simple as a green apple can subtly aggravate joint pain, trigger muscle tightness, and even lead to nighttime leg cramps. Many seniors don't connect the dots, blaming their discomfort on aging when in fact it may be coming from something sitting in their fruit bowl, and while green apples may not taste very sweet, they still contain natural sugars. When eaten alone, especially on an empty stomach or before bed, these sugars can cause minor but repeated blood sugar spikes. For a senior body already working with slower insulin responses, this leads to inflammation and fatigue in the legs by morning. That stiffness you feel when you first get out of bed, or the heaviness in your thighs by early afternoon, could be your body's quiet protest against a fruit you thought was helping. Even small daily habits repeated over time can carry consequences, especially when they involve foods that seem harmless on the surface. But if green apples can quietly chip away at your comfort and mobility, what happens when you reach for something far sweeter, something soft, tropical, and beloved by nearly everyone? Coming up is a fruit so naturally sugary, it's practically dessert, and it may be the most dangerous of them all. Let's reveal the final culprit. 7. Mango, the sugar bomb. Mangoes are beloved by many. Their rich golden flesh, soft texture and sweet aroma make them feel like nature's candy, especially during the warmer months. For seniors, they're often seen as a refreshing, healthy indulgence. But beneath their sunny exterior lies a truth that few talk about. Mangoes may be one of the most harmful fruits for aging legs and joints. What makes mangoes so dangerous for people over 60 is their extremely high natural sugar content. While the word natural sounds harmless, the body processes sugar the same way, whether it comes from a dessert or a ripe mango. When a senior eats a mango, it can lead to a sharp spike in blood glucose followed by a crash. These ups and downs aren't just exhausting, they actively trigger inflammation in muscles and joints, particularly in the lower body where circulation is already compromised by age. Over time, this inflammation begins to show itself in troubling ways: a burning in the toes, swelling around the ankles, tightness in the knees, or a dull dragging heaviness in the thighs after walking. If you have nerve issues or prediabetes, the risks are even higher. The sugar in mangoes can aggravate neuropathy, leading to tingling, numbness and slower healing in the feet and legs. The real danger is how deceptively easy it is to overindulge. Mangoes taste light and feel healthy, but they pack more sugar than many people realise. And because they're not a processed sweet, we don't treat them with the same caution. That's how they slip past our defences, slowly weakening our legs while we believe we're eating clean. When it comes to protecting your strength and independence, even the most innocent-looking fruit can become a hidden threat. But here's the good news. Just as the wrong fruits can harm your legs, the right ones can help heal and support them. So, what should you be eating instead? Let's discover the fruits that truly nourish aging legs and joints. What should you eat instead? After learning about the fruits that can quietly damage your legs, weaken your joints, and reduce your freedom to move, it's only natural to ask, so what can I eat? Shh! This is where hope returns, because not all fruits are harmful. Some are your greatest allies. In fact, the right fruits can do more than nourish your body. They can help restore your strength, soothe inflammation, and support the very muscles and joints that carry you through life. For seniors, the key is choosing fruits that are low in sugar, gentle on circulation, and rich in anti-inflammatory compounds. Take our berries, for example. Blueberries, raspberries and blackberries. These tiny fruits are among nature's most powerful protectors. They're packed with antioxidants that combat inflammation and support healthy blood flow, particularly in the legs and feet where circulation tends to weaken with age. And unlike sweeter fruits, they help stabilise blood sugar, avoiding the spikes and crashes that leave your legs feeling tired and heavy. Then there's cherries. When eaten in moderation, they've been shown to reduce uric acid, which helps fight off joint pain and gout, common conditions in older adults. Even a small handful can ease the burning sensation in your knees or the stiffness in your toes. One fruit that surprises many is the avocado. Yes, it's a fruit and one of the best you can eat. Rich in healthy fats, it reduces inflammation and provides stable energy without disturbing your blood sugar. It cushions your joints from the inside out, allowing you to move with more ease and less pain. And don't forget papaya and pears, fruits that are gentle on the digestive system, naturally low in sugar, and provide lasting nourishment without stressing your circulation. These aren't just safe, they're healing. When chosen wisely, fruit becomes more than food. It becomes a partner in your journey towards stronger steps, steadier balance, and brighter mornings. The path to better movement doesn't begin with more effort. It begins with better choices, and you just took the first step. Conclusion. A personal word to those who still want to walk strong. If you've stayed with me this far, I know one thing for certain. You care deeply about your future. You're not just looking for quick fixes or the latest trends. You're searching for truth, for clarity, and for the kind of wisdom that speaks not just to your body but to your lived experience. That tells me something else too. You're not ready to give up on your strength, your independence, or your ability to move freely. And you shouldn't. As someone who's lived many decades and walked through more seasons than most, I've learned that aging isn't the enemy. Complacency is. Small choices we ignore, the habits we don't question, the foods we consume without thinking. These are the real dangers, not because we meant harm, but because no one ever told us the full story. No one ever warned us that the very fruits we believed were helping us could be silently stealing our power, our balance, and the comfort of simply standing without pain. But now you know, and that knowledge is powerful. What you put on your plate matters more now than ever before. Every fruit, every bite, every habit, it either strengthens you or slowly weakens you. And here's the truth. No one tells you you are still in control. You still have the ability to change, to protect your legs, to protect your freedom. You're not at the mercy of your age. You are the steward of your health. So, take this seriously, not out of fear, but out of love for yourself. Your legs carry more than just your body. They carry your purpose, your passions, your ability to show up for the people and places you care about. They carry your life. If there's one thing I've learned after 9 decades, it's this. The body listens to what we feed it, and it always responds. Not always right away, but always. Choose foods that speak healing, not harm. Choose movement over stillness, awareness over assumption, wisdom over routine. And above all, never forget, it's never too late to walk stronger. If this video helped you today, and I genuinely believe it did, please subscribe to this channel right now if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you never miss a new upload. And leave me a comment below answering this. Which fruit on this list surprised you the most? Was it the bananas, the pineapple, something else? Tell me your age in that comment. And tell me one change you're committing to making this week. I read every single one, and your stories are why I keep making these videos. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of those legs. They will carry you to everything that matters.